How's it going, guys? Chris back here again with a new series for the channel, Dark Souls Remastered. So, we talked about this a little bit. I was going to do Dragon's Dogma because I thought that the Return to Lordan event started on the 20th. It actually ends on the 20th. Now, I don't know when I'm going to put this video up or if it's going to get up in time. It is currently early on the 11th. So I've missed it started on the 6th, 5 days out of the total 14. That said, yes, Dark Souls, I'm working on it. We are male. Class. So I have I'm a little behind in the event. But it's a community event, right? Hopefully there are other people like me who kind of forgot when it started. So I am gonna try to speed through the early game pretty quickly. Now, one of the ways I intend on doing that is by choosing a class that can use a particular weapon. So I'm looking for 13 dex and at least 12 strength. So the warrior is acceptable. Knight is not. Wanderer could be. Thief could be. Bandit is not. Hunter is okay. I think the thief has the master key, so that's probably pretty good, but he's level 5. So that's level 4. We said the hunter was okay. It's also level 4. Sorcerer is not good. Pyromancer is not. I say Pyromancer is not good. It's level 1, right? So if you want to do a level 1 build in Dark Souls, original Dark Souls, you have to choose the Pyromancer. And he has 9 dex, so I'm going to beat the Asylum Demon. I think that's 3 levels, so that'll get me up to, the number I need. I think I'm going to go Pyromancer, just because it's going to give me a few extra levels. Gift, because we're not using a thief, we have to get the master key. Physique, we're going to go slim. Face, commoner, receding, dark brown. Yeah, we're okay to set with this. So for those of you who've been around on the channel for a long time, it's a little quiet, isn't it? Land of Grey Arch Trees and Everlasting Dragons. I guess I can read it. I don't do much reading on the channel, mainly because I'm not, I don't play many RPGs anymore. I used to play more often, right? One of the first series on the channel was a playthrough of Off. With fire came disparity. Heat and cold, light and dark. No, life and death. Then light and dark? And of course light and dark, okay. So, it's been a year since I've touched this game. I literally bought it on a Steam sale for the PC. And tried to do a little run for the channel and got myself clowned on pretty hard. So Nito. So these are the 4 great souls in the game that you want to kill, right? We're actually going to be seeing Nito very quickly. So I have a rough idea on what kind of build I want to do too. One of the best features about Dark Souls 1 is that it's from a time period in which shields were not nerfed to the ground. Like, starting with Dark Souls 2, which is, it's not a bad game, right? But starting in that game, shields got a major nerf. Like, Bloodborne didn't even have shields. I don't think Sekiro did either. And in Dark Souls 2, you didn't have a really good early game option until an early game 100 physical blocking shield until you beat the pursuer. Yeah, the pursuer. Then in Dark Souls 3, shields got a little bit better, but like there wasn't an iconic shield from Dark Souls 3, right? You had a lot of really good like dex builds and twin blade builds and some really cool sorcery going on, but like the shield build wasn't there. At least I didn't feel like it was there. But in Dark Souls 1, like even in Dark Souls 2 you have an iconic shield, but in Dark Souls 1 you have the Great Shield of Artorias, which is our target. So to get that, I believe we need to get a shield up to plus 10. And then we can trade in the Dog Soul for Artorias' Great Shield. Now there's another version of it that's slightly worse that is available through the DLC. So we could get a version of it that way, but I think it's just best to get it off of Sif. You know the one. But our first mission is, as always, to it is to kill the asylum demon, right? It shouldn't be too hard. I don't think we're going to try to fight him with a broken sword, though. You can to get the demon's great hammer, but we're not going to use it, even though we're technically going to be a build that could benefit off of it, right? Because we are a strengthy build. So this is kind of like the tutorial of Dark Souls. The demon shows up from up there. Yep, he falls through. And you're supposed to just run away at this point in the game. Now, we could light this bonfire, or we could not light this bonfire. So the benefit of not lighting this bonfire is that we'll respawn at the other bonfire, right? And if we respawn at the other bonfire with our weapons, so if we get our weapons and then die, we can just go back to fighting the boss, but we'll do it the proper way. No point in not doing it the proper way. Grab our shield. Wow. End and home screen. I don't even know where those buttons are on oh, there they are. Oop. Oh, not that way. So the nice thing about FromSoft games is that they really haven't changed the PC controls that much. Let's get our equipment changed. So I got to a decent level of competency with the Elden Ring controls, but like these are different, right? Hey there, Oscar. I killed you because it takes time talking with you, and you just drop what you were gonna give me at the end of your speech anyway, so no real reason to keep you alive. And the nice thing about a simpler game is that it doesn't really require us to know all of the keys very well. Come on, move out of the way. It should be easier to backstab than yeah, we don't have the key for this one yet. We will get our hands on it though. It's a shame poor Dragon's Dogma got passed over again. That's good, that key's still the same. Ouch. You're making me look like a fool, demon. Here we go, we beat the tutorial boss. Now I think... Okay, yeah. So it's just shift to, just shift to change up the function of your weapon. So shift with a weapon is a light attack, or is a strong heavy attack, and then shift with a shield. That's our parry. I was never very good at parry. I don't know. I feel like some of my PC timing windows are a little bit better, but that being said, don't want to risk it too much. No reason to show off. Leveling up at bonfires was a cool ideal. We want to get our dex up to 12. And then eventually we want to get our what do you call it? Not our dex, our strength. Yeah, eventually we want to get our strength up to 24. So I'm 99% sure that this first run's gonna fail. but it'll... Good, sir. Yeah, there we go. Oh, goodness. It's been a while since I've done this. And I did it successfully in the last playthrough because it's kind of my go-to. Here, this should make it a little bit more doable. Yeah, so it's inverted mouse controls. Or inverted mouse buttons, I guess should be the best way of putting it. One of the weirdest things about coming back to a Dark Souls game from Elden Ring is that there's no jump button. And like, God, that was so useful. It was so useful. Like, I think Elden Ring is a little bit more difficult than Dark Souls. The original Dark Souls anyways. And I think part of that is solely explained on the basis that... Oh God, there is a jump button. Never mind. My God. There we go. Now I will wait at this bonfire because I think I can get out. That might not be true, but I think I can. I don't see why I wouldn't be able to. I don't actually know if the skip is possible at this point. Hey guys, let's talk about this, you know? GG skeletons, you got me. So if it's not possible, we're gonna have to go get some more health from somewhere. I lit it, I just didn't rest at it. Okay, well, that's a good lesson. That's a change I'm going to have to refamiliarize myself with. Because in Elden Ring, if you rest, or if you activate a bonfire, well, not a bonfire, if you activate a grace, you'll respawn to that grace, right? I'm pretty sure that's how that works. But this is a feature of Dark Souls that I do remember. We just have to not die at this point. Like, no die, please. Because if we die at this point, it's going to be big sad. So, I learned this method of getting a really strong weapon in the early game. From another YouTuber way back in the day. Because I was watching their series on it. Is Vitality the one that raises it by 20? Okay. And there isn't another one that raises health, is there? Not health. Stamina. Cancel. No, please don't do that to me. Yeah, I think we're just going to get a point in vigor. Or vitality, as it is in this one. You know, I forgot that I'm playing on a different control system than I'm used to, and that there's actually an element of skill into getting to the Gravelord sword. So I don't know if we're actually going to be able to do this. But we're not in too deep at the moment, right? Like, all right, we made the jump. And now we go down this hallway, I think. Yeah, and we don't want to go too far in. We just only want to go as far as we have to, which is right here. So there's a Titanite demon right there, right? Like, that's a bad thing for us to try to fight at this level. So we just gotta wait in the coffin for a bit. It's riveting content, I know. The last time I tried this, I thought that I needed Eyes of Death to make it work, which I don't think you do. Judging from the bloodstains around, I think that somebody else has been, I'm gonna make sure I don't need the, I don't think I need it. Like, I think we just wait in the coffin, but we might have to duke that enemy. I do need to duke the demon for a moment. Hey, Demmy boy. Please no. So we just gotta make the jump again. We also have to survive these skeletons, which is not the thing I'm skilled at, that's to be sure. That skeleton survived. So sometimes the skeletons will follow you down. And you don't want that to happen, so... If you feel like one of them might have made the ledge... Yeah, so apparently 30 seconds after we get in this coffin, we'll get to the Nido sword. which is very neat. I would say it causes poison buildup, although I have never actually been able to poison a boss with it. I don't think it's going to be my in-game weapon. I kind of want to try out something that I haven't gotten much experience with. But because I'm kind of late to the event, I want to get myself a foothold as quickly as possible. So if you have the Eyes of Death, you can hang out in this coffin for 30 seconds, and you'll get this here cutscene, which will transport you to a place that you are not supposed to be able to go to for a long time, the Tomb of the Giants. And the reason for that is this guy is one of the bosses, one of the 4 bosses that are the end game of the let's offer up an eye. And then we can leave. We don't really need him for anything, I don't think. I've never used him for anything. But let's check out our sick weapon. Yeah, it's going to say that we were unable to wield it with our current stats. But we can fix that. I think it's... Toggle to hand grip. Okay, so it's just F. This will pay off, trust me. But we might need one more point in... one more point in strength to make it work. It might be 1 point over 50% instead of 50%, which I think is what makes sense. Now the interesting thing is, like, the notion of just running somewhere and grabbing the most powerful weapons is something that other RPGs do address, right? Like Dragon's Dogma that we were looking at before, weapons have level requirements, which is a fairly common thing in RPGs, right? Ouch. Wait. We just kind of stood there and took it, which is not ideal if I'm being truthful about it. Wait. Please move. Well, we all died. Very sad. I might have to switch back to my axe. Or get a shield up. Three of them. I think that was 3, because there was one explosion that knocked them all down. Then there was a second explosion while we were getting up during our invincibility frames, and then there was a third explosion while we were trying to escape. I'm going to end the video off as soon as I exit out of the catacombs. Wait, please don't hit me. I don't want to be hit. That's why I was on E. I was like, why am I not rolling forward? It's Dark Souls, right? You're supposed to die. That's part of the deal. The developer makes a pretty good RPG, and in exchange, you agree to die a bunch to make them look like the game is hard. It's gonna take me a bit to get back to figuring out how to get past this guy. But there is a way to get past him. It's just gonna take some muscle memory or some brain memory to get it working again. I think what we're going to do is do this, block once, there's a lock on that got me that time. We got him out of the way. It's just that the guy that was behind us got us first. So let's just try doing it legit. So we'll get this out. And we'll double hand it because there's no reason not to. So we run past this one and then we fireball the one on the stairs, I think. That could do it. That could do it. And that way we still have access to our shield too. So for those of you who watched Elden Ring or are familiar with it but not the Dark Souls kind of UI system, spells back in the day are based on cast instead of the more standardized fantasy system of mana. We did it. Now we just have to get through the graveyard, okay? Which is possible. It's possible. And then I'll end off the video, start another video. You know the deal. I know the deal. I also want to record some magic today because I kind of have 2 magic decks ready to go. And I just haven't gotten around to putting them to paper yet. I remember when I first started playing this game, I thought that floor would fall out on me. would have been very sad. Can I rest at the bonfire now, please? Here we go. Alright. Well, I would like to thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next episode.